Hello, Lance. This is part 2 of your English 3 multi-genre research project. By now you should be very familiar with Mac and VIA if you've watched the other video helper. And so now I'm going to talk to you specifically about these databases and what types of sources you're going to want to pull from these databases. One of the things that I want to point out to you is that in your template it tells you scholarly article, web source, political newspaper cartoon, poem, ad or media graphic, newspaper article, interview. So these are just, I know, samples of the different types of sources that you're going to use. So I'm going to show you how to find and access different types of sources in the databases that I have pulled for you. So in student resources and context, I'm going to start with that one. I'm going to put in my search term. Whoops, sorry. Forgot that I copied something else, civil. Right, so I'm going to put in my search term here. Okay. Over here, it's going to tell you the different types of sources, right? So a biography is one type of source. Reference. In reference, if I click on these reference sources, okay, this is the African American Almanac. That is a type of source. This is the Gale Encyclopedia of U.S. History, Government, Politics. This is West Encyclopedia of American Law. All of these are different sources, okay? They're reference sources, but each of these is a different source, okay? So you can use any of these, and depending on, so these are all reference type sources, right? Obviously, your teachers would be fine with you using a biography. Primary sources. Primary sources are the types of sources that existed at the time of at that time in history, right? So the Civil Rights Act of 1964. This is a primary source document from that time period, and it details the Civil Rights Act of 1964. So this would be considered a primary source. That's the type of source that it is, but it's coming from Civil Rights in America, edition 1999. Okay, let's go back. So news. If I click on this, there's 7,518 different news sources, right? One thing you can do is once you're over here, you'll notice that you can limit it by subject, document type. Okay, so for instance, am I looking for a broadcast transcript, like a radio broadcast perhaps, or a TV? There's interviews here. There's letters to the editors, there's essays, there's biographies, there's theater reviews, reviews of movies, movie reviews, theater reviews are like live theater, okay? So any of these might be concert review. Any of these might be possible sources for you. So the type of source, obviously, is that it's a news source, but then all of these are a different source. Each one of these is a different source, right? So this one is from the CNN Wire, okay? So that's like an online news source, okay? New York Times, that would be from that's the newspaper, right? So just know that when you're looking at these, that you're looking at, you know, what type of document is it, okay, and then what type of source is it. All right, so, and then over here it breaks it down by the general types of sources, and then once you click on them, so these would be the critical, academic journals would be your critical, what did they call it? Scholarly article. Okay, so that's going to be your academic journals. That's where you're going to get your scholarly articles. Also, you can find those under critical essays. Those would also be considered the same thing. So you can see that this is the Western Journal of Black Studies. This is the Journal of Critical Ethnic Studies. This is the Southeastern Geographers, the American Jewish History. So these are different journals, right? So you could use 3 articles from this category and they would all be from technically different sources. Okay, they're all scholarly articles, right? But they're from different sources. Okay, so let me move on. All right, so that was student resources and context, right? One of the things I want to show you is this Twain's author series database. Oh, nope, that's not the right one. Oh, I think I took out crap. Okay, so let me keep going. All right, so this Twain's author series, this is going to give you information. It's going to give you access to literature, right? So you can come in here and you can put in civil rights, and it's going to pull up any literature that speaks to civil rights, okay? Another one is the Artemis Literary Sources. And this is an integrated research experience that brings together literary databases in a new digital environment, search across these resources, discover, analyze content in new ways, uniquely rich content. So it's going to give you access to novelists, poems, short stories, etc. So you can come in here and you can put in, let's just do American Dream. Okay, and so now it's going to tell you that there's 915 multimedia, primary sources and literary works, reviews and news, topic and work overviews, biographies, literature criticism. So you can, by subject, by the person that it's about, by the name of the work, by the author, by the publication, by the document title. And then also this one will have the Gale topic finder. So you can come in here and you can, are you looking for a poem? Okay. So then you can kind of look through sources that way. Okay. So that's the Artemis literary sources. And then the first one I showed you was Twain's author series. Okay. The Literature Resource Center is going to be another place where you can go to find critical sources. So I'm going to put in civil rights. Okay, and so I'm going to find 8,000 literature criticism documents, biographies, topic and work overviews, reviews and news, primary sources, and literary works, multimedia on this particular topic. In these databases, you're going to want to search broader terms and then narrow it down from there. So for instance, if I'm looking for African American women and civil rights, I could click on this small piece of the pie and it's going to give me 9 sources that deal with African American women and civil rights. Okay, essay date, poem. So I can click on some of these broader categories too if I wanted to, and then it'll pull up resources for those things. So that's the Literature Resource Center. Okay. Infotrac Newsstand is going to be primarily news and information sources. So this one you're going to want to, you can put in a general topic and then you can use the topic finder again that's down here, but you'll notice that there is just a gazillion news pieces on this. So this might be a database where if you have a very broad topic where you narrow it down either with your topic finder or by doing an advanced search and putting in civil rights and 1964, not Birmingham, whatever you want to, whatever you're trying to narrow it down to, but you may want to use the advanced search. And this database is going to give you current and then also archive news, and it's going to be newspapers, magazines, news outlets, news articles, all that kind of stuff. So that is Infotrac Newsstand. Okay. Academic OneFile is going to be for academic journals, but in some cases that may be something that you need. So you can put in your search term again, and this one is going to be primarily, like I said, academic news, academic journals, and magazines. And so remember the difference between an academic journal and a magazine, but in some cases you may want a magazine article that's written by a journalist that kind of has some bias and things like that in it. So you may want that. But you can narrow it down here by document type, subject, publication title. You can use your topic finder on this database as well. Okay. All right. The GVRL has nonfiction and reference books in it. So if I put in my search term, I can expect to find excerpts from various books. Okay, so that is what this database is. It's all books. But you're not going to have to read the whole book. Like if I pull this up and then I want to look up Encyclopedia of Race and Racism, and it's going to pull up the NAACP portion of that. So it's going to pull up just a portion of the book, and then it's going to well, this one didn't, but you can come in here and you can choose a volume. For instance, you can also do the table of contents. Sometimes it'll bring you to the index, and you can search the index that way. So it just depends on the book in this particular database what you can access. The last one I'm going to show you is opposing viewpoints in context. Obviously if you choose a very broad topic like civil rights, or something civil liberties, LGBTQ, anything like that, you can of course use this database. This database is going to focus on giving you multiple resources with different viewpoints. So if you click on this viewpoints section right here, this is what it's going to provide you with. It's going to provide you with viewpoints on all different sides of the issue. Okay, so that's what this database is going to be focused on. So these are the ones that are in here, and I've kind of quickly gone through what's in them. Remember, to get for citation help and general research help, you're going to watch part 1 of this video series. This is obviously part 2, where I describe in depth the different databases and what types of resources you can find in each database. As always, if you have any questions, you can feel free to email me, lambertin@friscoisd.org, or you can come see me in the library, and I would be more than happy to help you with any research needs that you have. Good luck, Lions.